Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Be Rich. I'm happy to see Anand is back in the studio with us. And today I thought I'd get him to talk about what's happening with the rupee and the dollar. And everyone seems to be cheerful because the rupee is becoming stronger.
The rupee has reached a 1 month high
Yes.
and it's about 81.90 or something like that. And there is a lot of celebration on that.
Yes.
But I think that's premature.
Why?
See, what has happened is that the last 3 days back, but I think it's the Atlanta Fed. There are 7 federal governors,
Yes. Shares.
chairs who report to the governor.
Correct.
And she went out of turn and said that we are not going to increase interest rates beyond 0.25. And so the market was looking for a straw. And then on Thursday and Friday, the market rallied, the dollar index fell, and the markets, of course, we had a rally. And for 2 days, you have had a very positive news about the stocks, and because of that inflows. But the truth is that Saktikant Adas has sold about $17 billion. So he's not bought it back.
No.
So net, you're $17 billion down. So you have spent $17 billion to get here. That is point number one. Point number two is the American inflation is showing no signs of abating.
Very true.
And Euro inflation came higher than what most people expected. That means the Europeans are going to increase interest rates. And definitely you can be well rest assured that the Americans will also increase interest rates. Whether it is 0.25 or zero point 0.5 is the question. There is some data point expected this before the decision. And I spoke to a hedge fund manager in America, and he said very clearly, a good friend of yours also, who was in the Democrat camp, who was saying there was no inflation, inflation was transitionary. And he had changed his position yesterday to tell me that inflation is real, and there are two underlying causes. One is supply chain from China, and the other is, of course, wage spiral. He says the Americans have got tougher, and definitely they don't want to import from China.
Very true.
And so the factories are moving out to Indonesia, Vietnam, some to India, Laos, all these places.
But this will take time.
This will take time. So another 5 years, this supply chain will not get restored.
No, it will not.
The other thing he said, because Trump did saber rattling on immigration, and even in the second term of Obama, there was anti-immigration stance.
Very true.
America has zero net immigration.
Yes. There's no appetite for allowing the gates to open.
Yeah. So you don't have enough workers in America.
True.
And so because you don't have enough workers to do the low level jobs, the salaries are increasing.
Yes.
And these salaries are going to increase for us some time to come.
True.
And therefore, the Fed is not in a position to increase interest rates. What did he say? He said 5-year inflation expectations.
True.
So if you are going to Phelps was a guy who got a Nobel Prize for discovering what people expect inflation will be.
Very true.
Expectations drive inflation.
Yes.
People expect inflation to be 3% 5 years from now. So that means inflation is not going to come. It may come to 4 quickly, but 4 to 2 is next to impossible.
It's going to take a long time.
So he believes, and he is a monetary print camp, and he believes that the Fed will take it to 5.5 to 5.75, and then he will find it fixed. Then they will hold it there for 2 years. Kenneth Rakoff, one of the IMF's economists, says that it can go up to 6%. That means there is a 1.25% interest rate coming. This will mean more dollars going out and lot of pressure on the rupee.
Very true.
So forget adding exports. You are going to see dollar go out and more imports. This is one problem in the medium term. The other problem which data indicates is the GST collections, which says that we have done only 1.49 lakh crores this quarter. What this means is most of these rise, it's fallen below 1.5 after 3 months. But most of this collection has come from import cess
Very true.
and import tax, service tax collection, import GST collections. which means that the imports are not showing any signs of subsiding.
Very true.
We are importing more and more,
Yes.
and your export is not growing at the
It's
same
not.
pace. So you are going to have a big current account deficit.
Very true.
So you need more capital to come from abroad, and that capital is going to find it difficult to come because interest rates are going to remain high.
Very true.
All this will put in a medium term, there is going to be sustained pressure on the Indian rupee.
I agree with you. True.
So, whatever may happen, if Sakti continues to sell dollars, you will get occasional bounces like this. I, for one, think that whenever you get an occasional bounce, it's time to sell the rupee. But it is not possible in India to buy dollars immediately. So, what you should do is you should buy IT in whenever the rupee strengthens, IT will fall. It's only narrative. So you buy a bunch of IT, you buy a bunch of pharma, which are basically exporting, and then sit tight and wait
That's when you're
patiently.
betting on the rupee. Basically, you're buying pharma and you're buying IT because it's dependent on the foreign currency.
Exactly.
These industries.
Yes.
You're betting on the rupee.
I am betting against the rupee,
Yes.
and I've been fairly successful in doing that.
Correct.
And like I told in one of these interviews in Tamil, if you look at the price of gold for 10 years, price of gold in dollars is where it was 11 years back. In fact, it is less than that. So gold is at a 11-year low worldwide. In India, we are not anywhere near a 11-year low in gold.
No, you're not.
So both indicate that the rupee is going to be under pressure. This is a short-term blip.
Okay, but the problem which the public is facing is in two prong. One is information. We're not able to gather this kind of information freely, though it's supposed to be accessible.
It is there.
Yes, but the general public find it hard to find out this information in the haystack. Another thing is our media is completely skewed, either to one side or completely to the other side. There is very hardly any middle ground nowadays. And then, of course, you have the influx of the social media and this influencers pumping up this information. As a layman, as a person in public, how can you see through this noise? What advice do you give?
See, there are two things. There's a Nate Silver wrote a good book, Signal and Noise.
Signal and noise. Yes.
So you should be able, as an engineer, most of these people would have done some engineering.
Yes.
It's up to you to figure out what is signal and what is noise. I am a member of the Congress party. I am a member of the All India Congress Committee.
But we're first Indians.
Yeah, first I'm an Indian. And so I will also have bias
Yes.
since I'm sitting in the opposition. But I have to discount my bias and look at data.
Correct.
And I have to look at data. And when I look at data, I have to do it in an unbiased manner. Once we do that, you tend to look at it. When will I believe that the rupee is shining? Is if exports increase dramatically and our imports fall dramatically. Neither of that is happening. Oil prices are still at 78, 80. Right? And therefore, unless oil corrects, there is no way that your
The pressure on India.
pressure of India declines.
Correct.
So I don't see oil declining. I don't see gold declining beyond this. And every time gold declines, there's going to be a big rush of people trying to buy gold.
Very true.
So there is gold and oil which are really putting pressure on the Indian rupee. And whatever we are buying from China, basic API and other imports from China, luxury goods, these are putting pressure on the rupee. And what can increase the exports? Forget our goods exports. What can really save our exports is pharma and IT. But the very thought of recession in rest of the world
Correct.
is putting huge pressure on
these
the
two
IT recruitment. So the IT guys are not getting business, and you are requiring more dollars. Shaktikantada is selling dollars. Definitely, you will know that.
So your advice is instead of picking on a specific companies to work on a IT index and a pharma index to focus on that, right?
Focus on that. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Anand. I hope you guys got some insight into what Anand's views are on an Indian rupee and how to discern noise from actual signal. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Vinod. It was a great pleasure.
Yeah.
If you like this content, hit the like button of this video, subscribe to our channel and turn on the bell notification. We urge you to send this to your friends and relatives and ask them to have a look. Once again, I thank you for your support for Be Rich. After a successful event in Qatar, my team wanted to find out where to do an event. So they did a recce, they did a survey, and they found out that they would go back to my second home in Saudi Arabia, Dammam. So after nearly 20, 30 years, I'm going back to Dammam. The last time I was in Dammam was in 1990, and I'm going there back there to do an event on the 10th of March. We have not yet decided where it will be in Dammam, but definitely I'm visiting Dammam on the 10th of March, Friday. So those who are in and around Dammam or maybe in Jeddah should make a trip to see me, and I'm going to talk about investments on where you should put out your money. Those in Bahrain can drive across the causeway and join us. See you in Dammam on the 10th of March. It's a great privilege and honor that so many of you in thousands have subscribed to my channel and have supported me. I have written 2 books in English, The Alchemy of Money and Ordinary Stocks, Extraordinary Profits. These books are published by us and are ready. If you want to procure a copy, send us a message to the WhatsApp number given below and my team would respond to you. If you want an Amazon Kindle copy, you can click the link below. Finally, those who wish to consult with me can send a mail to berichenglish@gmail.com. Once again, I thank you for your support. If you like this video, press the subscribe button of my channel, hit the like button and turn on the bell notification.